Hi, I'm Raphael Elia.
And I'm John Jackson, and this is the Mancave.
Alright, so today we're going to talk about last week in the NFL, but first, we have some news in the NBA. Why don't you take us there?
Pretty big news. You know, we got big news out of Cleveland. The Cavaliers had fired their head coach, David Blatt, and he's replaced now by Tyronn Lue, who was formerly the assistant coach. They now signed Lue to a 3-year deal. But the big story with this is two things. One, Cleveland Cavaliers, they are a good basketball team.
They're a really good basketball
Very good basketball team. And number two, a lot of people are saying that this was LeBron James doing, and that he has a lot of say in the Cleveland Cavaliers negotiations and, you know, when it comes to trades and also firing, hiring, and things like that. They say he has a lot of say. What do you think about that?
One cannot deny that LeBron James, with his outstanding amount of talent, his contract, he basically has a big hold on the team. But these, again, are just rumors right now.
LeBron is saying that people are making him look bad, making him look like dirt now. He denies that he had anything to do with it. Obviously, even if he did, he's going to deny it. He's not going to say, yeah, I fired David Blatt.
Listen, there's no... I mean, you can't prove anyway, but, you know, come on. They were competing... They weren't just competing. They were a good basketball team. On the return from the championships last season, you know, it just seems hard for me to believe that there was no outside factor that influenced, or inside factor if you count LeBron James as inside.
Yeah, and this also came after their huge loss on Monday against Golden State. But, I mean...
Who doesn't lose to Golden State?
Exactly.
I say it time and time again. Who doesn't lose to Golden State? A loss to Golden State is not a loss. It's just, it happens because they're Golden State.
Yeah, the Spurs lost. The Spurs are a really good team. They lost to Golden State. And their head coach was joking, saying, you know, I was hoping the GM wouldn't be in the locker room because now I'll be fired. And Greg Popovich, their head coach, is one of the best in the business, so obviously that won't be happening.
Yeah, no. Now we're going to shift focus to the NFL. The conference round is over. We're moving on to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 50. We're going to have our picks for that next week because this week all the football is the Pro Bowl, which I don't care about. I don't think you care about.
Not many people care about it.
I don't think you care about it. I don't think the players care about it.
No, a lot of players back out from that. They're like, nah.
So we're just going to neglect this week for a second, and we're going to focus on another outstanding week of football because these playoffs have been really exciting to watch. And the first game, probably the most exciting playoff game build-up-wise that you're going to see in a while, what could have been the final, Manning-Brady Bowl. It was the New England Patriots visiting the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos came out on top, 20-18. That's something that none of us saw happening. We all predicted the Patriots. We won't deny it, but if I was going to be wrong about any game, I'm so glad I was wrong about that one because as a Jets fan, I could not be more happy to see Brady lose, and I could not be happier than to see him lose to a guy like Peyton Manning. So
yeah, tell us more stats-wise. Lead us with the stats of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Not as good as you might think.
No.
Not as good as you might think. Peyton Manning threw for only 176 yards and a couple of touchdowns. No interceptions. That made the difference in the game.
That's big.
Because Tom Brady had 1 touchdown, but he had a costly 2 interceptions. So that's how it comes. That's what it came down to. And if you want to even go narrower, it came down to Gostkowski's missed extra point attempt in the first quarter because the Patriots ended up losing by 2 points, having to go for that 2-point conversion. Had they have gotten that extra point, it would have been 20-20. So I don't think anyone denied that the Patriots were going to come back. It was such a tight game. Brady, that's when Brady plays like Brady. But they weren't able to. It came down to 1 pass to get that 2-point conversion, and you know.
Now, isn't this interesting? In the first year that they implemented the rule with the new extra point,
you're very right.
Had a huge effect on many games, and this one
none more costly than this game.
This is a big game. The AFC Championship is the biggest game aside from the Super Bowl. So They lost because of that extra point.
Yeah, no, you can deny it by saying, the regular season, what real impact has it had. It cost the Patriots a Super Bowl trip.
This season.
Possibly a Super Bowl trip, because they would have tied the game.
Yeah.
And who knows after that, because Tom Brady was throwing better than Peyton Manning in the last quarter. Even though Tom Brady started out throwing worse than Peyton Manning, we thought it was like a role reversal in the first quarter, first half even.
Yeah.
But honestly, it came down to that missed field goal, that missed extra point, and that new rule. It's none more costly than today, and we don't know. Could it be in the Super Bowl next? Could it be next season? It's going to be fun to watch. Let's go on to the second game, which had a much, much different feel.
Arizona at Carolina. Can you tell me when in that game did Arizona have a chance? When?
I'd say at kickoff when the score was 0-0. And from kickoff on, it was all downhill.
The moment that Carolina scored, they ended up scoring again, and again, and again, and again, and again. They won 49-15. Arizona had no chance whatsoever, and part of the reason why is because their quarterback, Carson Palmer. And I said on this show, in our picks last week, that from what I've seen with Carson Palmer against the Green Bay Packers, how he just won because of miracles, I said, no way he's going to beat Carolina. You said differently, though.
I did say differently, and I was wrong. And I was dead wrong.
But you admit it, so we'll let you slide on that one.
No, you have to punish me for this one, because Carson, why, man? I mean, this is the number 2 overall offense, defense combo in the NFL, if you want to say. Number 2 overall. They did not play like the number 2. It looked like Carolina just took down the number 6 seed. It was terrible to watch.
It was one of the biggest deficits that they had, aside from the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Versus the Houston Texans. That was a big blowout. This, however, was also a big blowout.
Who saw that coming from? This is the number 1 seed going against the number 2 seed. What you expect is a 20-18 win, like in the Denver Broncos Patriots game. That's
you want it close. I mean, we're talking about 2 good. And like I've said it many times. I'm very high on Arizona. I thought they were a really good team. However, I saw Carson Palmer, and he wasn't the playoff quarterback. He couldn't perform. Very lack of experience in the playoffs, I believe, cost him. Cam Newton, though, he's pretty good. Although
he doesn't have playoff experience either.
No,
so
he does. The last 2 years, he's.
He doesn't have like this high level playoff.
Yeah, he hasn't progressed in the playoffs.
He hasn't really progressed, and so new ground for him too. But he looks like a natural at this game.
And he's actually. You'd probably be surprised. He didn't perform that well. He had over 300 yards. However, he, 2 touchdowns and an interception, I believe?
He had 2 touchdowns and an interception. He threw for 335.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yes, no, he threw for 335, yeah.
So he didn't perform that well, although it looks like that because they blew him out 49-15.
He did what he had to do to win.
Exactly.
The defense
was
incredible.
It's amazing.
Was incredible. And honestly, if you want to turn it back to the Broncos, the defense was incredible because Manning did not single-handedly win that game as much as everyone wants it to be. Did Brady win or did Manning win? No.
It's the defense.
Broncos defense won. And that proves every playoffs. Every year we say the same thing in the NFL. And it's going to play a big factor in the Super Bowl, but we're not even going to touch that yet. You're going to have to wait for next week for us to touch that territory. But for now, all we could do is say what happened to the Arizona Cardinals. We could wave bye-bye to Tom Brady. We could possibly be looking at Peyton Manning's last Super Bowl.
Very, very likely.
His last game. It's incredible. It's a great time to be a football fan.
Excellent, yeah.
So, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to tune in next week. I mean, it's Super Bowl week. If you guys don't tune in next week, we're going to have problems. So,
yeah.
I'm Raphael Lee, as you know.
I am John Jackson. This has been the Man Cave.